Words of Dennis Betts ringing in their ears. Time now to throw to Stuart Cummins, Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor and the lead commentator, Rod Studd.
Thanks, Brian. As Lauren Fresnew leads the Catalan Dragons out for battle in the second half. Fresnew's 40th game in charge of the Dragons. 17 wins, 2 draws, 20 defeats in his previous 39. And, well, as far as Widnes are concerned, under Dennis Betts, symmetrical figures, 63 wins, 63 losses and 6 draws for Dennis Betts as Widnes boss, looking to tip the scales in the win column. They've done well to come back from 14-0 down. They got it back at 1 point to 14-10. 18-10 though, with that Elliot Whitehead try just before the break. Escaré was on the score sheet as well. So can Catalan make it 3 wins in 4 matches, or are the Vikings going to turn it around and continue their impressive start to the Super League season and move level on points with third place Castleford? They really do need the first try of the second half, I think, fair to say, the Vikings, Terry?
Yeah, they do. And I'm sure that the coach, Dennis Betts, would have talked to his players about conserving energy and making sure that you respect position. And if you do get to a decent kick, make sure you play the game up in the other end, exert the energy to keep the opposition close to their try line. And Lauren Fresnew, he'll be very happy with the way that they started the first half and finished the first half.
A witness in the various shades of blue, the Dragons in the red and white. The witness moving from left to right on your screens. Need to get the first try, you feel, in this second half to breathe life into their chances of getting their first ever Super League win over the Dragons. They did manage to pick up a draw at home last season, 32-all. Amazing game at the Select Security Stadium. Whistle goes from James Child. Phil Joseph's brow is furrowed because he has knocked on and he's handed the early field position to the Catalan Dragons.
Now, the worst possible start for the Widnes Vikings. Just trying to get through that first set, get a good kick chase, and Phil Joseph getting the pats on the back from his teammates. Not for a job well done. Never mind, mate. Let's get back in. Let's do some defence.
Well, someone's come flying out of the line there, which afforded the opportunity just briefly for the Dragons. That could have been borderline catastrophic. It was Tyra who went through, and now it's Thomas Bosk. Now Garcia. And they'll rotate these substitutes off the bench. The Catalan Dragons, they've got some big men there like Lapini Pair and Garcia, Busquet, and they'll just keep rumbling towards you, and there's a lot of tackling to be done for the Vikings. Cahill is doing a sizable chunk of it there, but this is when they're under pressure. 3 tackles left early in this half, early in this sequence. Now Bosk runs into 2 Widnes Vikings again. Kevin Brown is getting some work done, some of the real spade work for the Vikings. There is Price, there is Whitehead looking for a third try. He's up to the line and almost over it. He wouldn't have been able to ground it, I don't think, anyway. Final tackle. Escaré goes in to burrow in at dummy half. Price spins it out. Now Bosk floats the kick. It's high and it's collected by Flynn, but he'll go behind his own try line. They'll try and run it out. Hanbury's trying something audacious, something eccentric, you may say, and in the end it'll force a goal line dropout.
Look, there's a good take from Paddy Flynn. He chose to take that gamble, leaps up, hands above his head, just offloads to Rhys Hanbury. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. A little bit risky in your in goal. And a goal line dropout and more pressure to be absorbed by the Vikings.
Well, a cloudless sky in the south of France, but a storm is brewing as far as the Vikings are concerned, because repeat sets in this heat are going to cause a problem, especially when you've got a guy called Lapini Power just rumbling towards you at full tilt.
Well, there's no on break, is there? He's 100 miles an hour.
Well, that runaway truck has ground to a halt eventually. 2 tackles gone then. And again, it's Pelissier looking one way, then the other, looking for the opening, looking for the opportunity. Monstrous hit comes in. Ball is offloaded still by the Dragons in the form of Zeb Taher. And the whistle goes once more. And if you keep doing this, giving your opponents set after set after set on your own try line, there is only one result.
Well, there was only 3 penalties in the first half. This is the 4th of the game, and Danny Tickle is the man who's just to have gone high on Garcia. Will it be 2 points, you think, here?
I'm not sure. I think they'll keep the ball going. And I've said before about Garcia, He's a small, stocky, squat player, but he's a goer. And it's his late footwork that just leaves Widnes reaching, more of a grab than a smash.
Bosk, Price, rarely caught in possession, and he offloads again. Bosk, Escaré, spins it out wide. Widnes' defence is creaking like an old barn door here now. And that's another high tackle, surely. Play on is the call from James Child, offering the advantage, quite rightly so as well. They've got men over here. If they can get it away to Zeptara, he would have scored. He dots down. Now, how did it come free? Well, it's a knock-on, says James Child. And that may well be a try butchered.
It's the mistake from Garcia. He fluffs it, he's got the chance. The ball goes from one side to the other. Pomeroy looks very strong, and he's always getting his arm free. And you can see that again, they started the second half very strongly. They seem to be willing themselves to just shift that ball, and the ball needed to be earlier. The ball needed to be earlier to Zeptara.
Credit where it's due to James Child as well, who played a very good advantage. He could have blown very quickly for a high tackle over on the far side, and he allowed the Catalans to gain the advantage, and they should really have taken full advantage.
I don't think there's too much wrong with that offload either. I know it's a little bit low. Zeptara can't get down to pick up, but good signs for the Dragons. The early stages of the first half.
Wait! Give him space, Jason!
Oh dear, oh dear. Lloyd White has just got a black mark against his name.
Well, they seem to be compounding their errors. First and foremost, it was Phil Joseph, then Lloyd White. He's looking to pass the ball before he's got control of it. Very difficult for Dennis Betty's men. The high-risk players from Catalan. Well, I'm sure we'll reap them a try if they keep playing like that and keep gifting. And if Widnes keep gifting them possession 10 metres from the line.
Leon Price. Trent Robinson, his former coach, described him as a different kind of cat, a cool cat, laid-back Leon, feeding the scrum here, looking to direct the traffic for the Dragons. And Boss gets his hands on the ball early in this set. Now, Big Ben Pomeroy chiming in. Open the scoring. The 4th minute. We've seen a lot of Pelissier dummy half. Noe and Henderson at hooker, he can do plenty of work. He'll get another opportunity. Good offload as well. Whitehead out to the wing. Chance and a try. And the Catalan Dragons are in again. It's Vincent Duport. They've scored early in the first half. Now they've scored early in the second. And now there's clear daylight.
Well, brilliant play yet again from Catalan. Don't die wondering. Lapini Payet, his introduction has really got Catalan on the front foot. And again, the ball goes out wide to Vince Duport. Just have a little look at the extra effort. Every time that Catalan get anywhere near Widnes' try line, they are throwing the ball around. They're sucking in the Widnes defenders. They're throwing the ball wide. And Vince Duport, good finish from the winger.
And it's good skill from Catalan in the end, but we've talked about it. You can't continue to give penalties away, allow your opponents opportunities too close to your try line. And it doesn't matter whether you're the best defensive team in the world, you can't keep on defending. And Vincent Duport takes the applause. You see Bernard Gouache, his young son, the young hooker, Joan Gouache, number 32, warming up, ready to come on. Played in the cup game against London last weekend, about to come in, make his Super League debut. One of 6 players on the field today that have come through the Catalan system. A great day for the club.
Well, the way Thomas Bosk has been kicking, I look back into kick this with your money, Brad.
Well, I'll have your bet,
Just
Rod.
1 out of 4.
I'll have your bet, Rod.
Just 1 out of 4 so far, Barry, and 3 of them were highly makeable. This is his toughest kick of the day. Up to press.
We'll have 5 pence on it. I'll say he'll get it.
Let's see if he can, because this is the toughest of the day so far. And it's an important one too, because the difference between being 12 in front and 14 is sizable. Scott Giroux out injured at the moment. I'm sure he'd have been taking the kicks by now. Bosk has missed again. 4 out of 5, just a 20% success rate, 80% failure rate, and it could in the end be highly costly, because these missed kicks are keeping the Vikings in business, keeping the Viking longboat afloat, Terry.
You know, he's a very good player, Lapini Payet. He attracts 3-4 players, get out the way, offloads the ball to Pelissier, who again in turn offloads the ball to Elliot Whitehead, who sees Vince DePort free on the edge, and the Widnes players just couldn't get there in time.
Good finish.
Very good finish.
Wasn't afraid to go down low where the boots are sometimes flying.
Well, if he wasn't going low, Phil Joseph would have took him into touch, and that try wouldn't have been rewarded.
Battieri, a battering ram. Taken down by Cahill and White. Widnes really gave a penalty away. There was a handling error by White. They conceded a goal line dropper, and in the end, just weight of pressure on their own line proved decisive. Pelissier is having an outstanding afternoon. Just lost his footing there, but he's been one of the key cogs in the Catalan wheel. And now the Dragons have got the cushion of a 2-score advantage.
Well, apart from a 5 or 10 minute spell in this game, the game has been Catalan. So if there was a Widnes player looking at this, thinking they'd give us absolutely everything, but we're still in this game. We can score a couple of tries like we did in the first half, and we just need to make sure we get hold of the ball and, as I say, respect that possession.
Peely Payer comes in to make the tackle on Paddy Flynn. Joseph charges forward. Amazing just how many different clubs he's been at, and really has found a home at the Widnes Vikings, enjoying his rugby league. Big Phil Joseph. Brown, Hambry, spilled again by Widnes, spilled this time by Declan Hume.
And there was nothing wrong with the pass.
I mean, body language is a big thing in all games of Super League, Terry, but I just think in this particular conditions, in this particular heat, just looking at your opponent and looking at the two teams out there and thinking, I think you're running out of gas, son.
Of course, of course. And the ball going out, and it was a soft pass. All they had to do was take that in, and when you keep turning the ball over, you've got to make sure that even if it's 5 drives in a kick, 5 drives in a kick, you do that for 2, 3, maybe 4 sets just to get back into the rhythm of the game, so you're not making those mistakes.
Olivia Elmer about to come on. But no matter how tired you are, you've got to make your opponent believe that you're actually as fresh as a daisy.
And this is where you must work harder, because you're turning the ball over and you know that you're under pressure, you know your back's against the wall. You work extra hard, like they're doing on that occasion, to turn the opponents onto the back.
Almost 10 minutes gone, the second half. The only points in this half, 4 of them to the Dragons, to Vincent Duport. It's 5 tries to 2 here to Catalan. Pelissier is horse-collared to the ground, 30 metres out. Bosque. There is Elmer, now Leon Price, the languid Leon Price, good offload by Taylor, and there's half a chance for Miller, and it turns into a glorious chance, and does he get it down? Did he get it down? Is it a try for Daryl Miller? He was tiptoeing down the touchline. Very, very close, Stuart, I think.
Well, I think if there was ever one that was going to be sent to the video referee, it was this one. I think his feet have been well next to the touchline for quite a period of time when he tries to put the ball down. There's one just short of the line, and there's certainly one in the in-goal area.
Should he have gone to the air Tommy Makinson style?
He should have done.
Superman style.
We were talking about that before.
There's a touch there.
He's in touch.
Quite clear.
And again.
It isn't a skill you can practice, but...
Well, we know what Makinson would have done. Makinson would have gone into the phone box, changed it to Superman, and just flown through the air, wouldn't he? With no regard to his safety. That's what Makinson would have done. That's what he does.
He would. But I think he probably went into touch about 5 metres out, so it was a fair jump from there.
Even Makinson may have struggled. Super League leading try scorer Makinson has Daryl Millard. Got a crucial try here for the Dragons. No. The try is disallowed. Well, another bullet dodged by the Vikings, because that would have taken the Dragons 16 clear. Kick to come.
Well, good effort from Widnes on the goal line. Never gave that opportunity up. Reece Hambry put his body on the line and just did enough to put Daryl Millard off. Good shot to start the set, with Paddy Flynn having a difficult day at the office today.
Well, Widnes are now like a boxer, clinging on, coming up for 2/3 of the way through the fight, miles behind on the judges' scorecards, but still have a puncher's chance.
This is where you find out who's up for the challenge. When you've seen 3 of your teammates get absolutely belted, the opponents are coming in, flying off the line in numbers. It's very tough. The ball's lost by Reece Hambry. Is it stolen?
Stuart?
Yes, he's given the ball steal. It's the usual style of trying to tackle on the ball now, and if the ball comes out, the referee's got little choice.
Quick penalty taken. Yes, the Super League stars have become masters of disguise, masters of subtlety. They can steal a ball and make it look like a simple knock-on. James Child was not to be duped. And Widnes taking the quick tap, and it's got him over the halfway line. They've had nothing but scraps in this second period. Can they find something more substantial to feed on now? Still very much in the game. 2 scores behind. Could have been out of sight by now, the Catalan Dragons. We saw what St Helens did last night, coming from 3 scores adrift in 10 minutes from time. Right, they're the unbeaten league leaders, but any side in Super League, particularly the Vikings, are capable of posting a couple of quick tries now. Last tackle option. What's Kevin Brown got up his sleeve here? Because surely the former Huddersfield string puller will be the man with his hands and his feet on the ball. Floated chip. It's over Price's head. He didn't know where it was, Leon Price. The Dragons have knocked on. It's picked up by the Vikings. It's picked up by Paddy Flynn. He's going to claim a try. James Child's going to go to the screen. But from the naked eye, I think it's 4 points.
Well, I think James Child was quite confident, but having the video referee there's no reason at all why he wouldn't check this with the ball bouncing around in a few places. It's who does that ball come off there in the air? Check the onside from the kick. There's no problem with that. And it's who does the ball come off in the air? Does it come off Leon Price? It's probably a closer look we need at this, a close-up shot of it.
Well, we saw in the first half Paddy Flynn himself getting in a pickle with some kicks, and the sun is an issue. Leon Price lost that completely.
I think that ball goes back off Leon Price. I don't think Christine gets a hand on it. Paddy Flynn picks that ball up cleanly.
It's certainly all right after that incident. It's just getting come and get a clear shot on who this ball comes off in the air.
Well, James Child, if you watch him and he comes into shot, he's saying it's play on, play on. He's gone upstairs, as Stuart says. The ball doesn't come off Christine. What's the pickup like here? As it comes off his hand there, his right hand.
Yes, there's a knock on there on the ground. So,
okay, well, worst plays up. It'll be knock on first by Millard, won't it?
Well, no, I think the ball goes back off the initial incident. It goes backwards. But it actually, on that shot, it looks like it hits.
Okay, but then if that's come forward off. Go back off Price. Does Millard then knock it on?
Well, I think that comes off Christine.
Okay,
there, so
yeah,
it's
fair enough.
forward.
In that case, it's a knock on. So
it does come off his left hand.
Yeah,
and that's all she wrote. Then you don't need to debate anything else.
Well, even if it comes off Leon Price, we've already seen the knock on later. So the result is knock on, scrum down to Catalan. Still not convinced, Joe Cobb. Right, I think that's clear there that goes off Christine.
Yeah, his left hand.
Yeah.
Well, we've just seen Daryl Millard have a try chalked off by the video ref. There is Millard involved there.
Well, you can see that James Child, he thought the ball had initially come off Leon Price and gone backwards.
So Flynn, has he cut the deficit from 12 to 8? He has not. No try, knock on. And that means the Dragons will get the ball back. Unlucky Widnes, you'd have to say, because Leon Price really didn't know what was going on as it went over his head, and he's got away with it after the knock-on by the Vikings.
Well, the try's not awarded, but Widnes, you've got to make sure that you keep yourself in the frame, you keep on putting yourself where that ball, or where you'd expect the ball to go to.
Saw a glimpse there of Joan Gouache, son of Bernard Gouache, the chairman of the Catalan Dragons. This is first Super League appearance. He did play in the Cup last week against the London Broncos. Price gathers the ball and moves forward in one movement there. Oliver Elima, the former Bradford Bull, will be playing against his old club in the Challenge Cup in a couple of weeks' time. Zebtaya, real bull of a man, charging forward. There's Gouache again. Pelissier getting a spell on the bench. Chips him forward. Good kick too, to the goal line. Fumbled. Went backwards, but that's not going to help him now as Pomeroy just picks him up and hurls him over the try line.
Tremendous defence. A lovely little kick from Joan Gouache's first contribution. Plays a little bit of 9, a little bit of 7. Speaking to Steve Deakin, said it's really exciting to see him on the big stage. Kicks it, chases, leads that chase. There's a little bit of a fumble from young Jack Owens, who evades the first up defender, but Ben Pomeroy pushes him back over the edge of the cliff, and more possession to the Dragons.
I saw what they did last time. They forced a couple of repeat sets via a goal line dropout with a penalty and then a knock-on also. They got the try from Vincent Dupont. Gouache is there once more. With the forwards are getting such go forward here. Widnes are defending on the back foot. It's very easy to play hooker or half back when the other team is back pedalling. And Gouache is doing a very good job of it. This time Danny Tickle has managed to slow things down a little bit, as he needed to do. 3 tackles left. Leon Price just drops off a simple pass. They'll keep things moving. Morgan Escaré. Now Zebtaya. Taya is cut down close to the line. Oh, it's going to be a penalty all day and all night. Christine just wouldn't let him release. Quick tap from Taya, borrowing his way to the line. They do well to muscle him backwards. 3 of them. Dean was one of them, the man who conceded the penalty. But this is all hands to the pump. The Widnes longboat, the Viking longboat, is taking in water now. They do well to keep him out here, set after set on the line, in the heat of the south of France. An offload, it's picked up, and can he get it over the try line, Gouache? Well, he was tantalisingly close to getting a Super League debut try. Tantalisingly close. As it delayed what appears to be inevitable. Bosque to Price, to Whitehead, to Escaré, touches a Viking. Back to 0, another set. Relentless pressure from the Catalan Dragons. Leon Price in his element now. Busquet. Gouache once more. Escaré drops the pass off to Big Ben Pomeroy. And is that his second try? It is. Pomeroy would not be denied. And the relentless pressure, and eventually the Widnes defence sprung a leak, and the Dragons go further clear.
But Rod, you can't continue to defend a short drop-off play. I had a question mark over this play of the ball as well. But a good line from Pomeroy. First instinct was it was a line ball at best from Escaré. This might give us a better look. Stuart, what's your opinion?
I think Escaré just drops off when he passes the ball. You know, it drops behind the ball as he passes it. I think that's a flat pass and fine.
Yeah, just to explain that, sometimes when players pass the ball, they run in the same direction that they're passing it, therefore ending up behind the player that receives it. I still think it's forward, though.
No, I think that's okay.
Ben Pomeroy certainly thinks it's okay. The 30-year-old Australian, he scored once for the Dragons before today, but he's literally trebled his try tally in one afternoon. He's gone from 1 to 3, and they have sacked off Thomas Bosque. Laurent Fresneau has seen enough. Changed the kicker. Escaré's going to have a stab at it. It's to go 18 in front. Different kicker, similar results.
Change the kicking team. Surely it must be. What a great play it is, though, pulling defenders out at the line. And when you, whether you're a half-back, whether you're one of those key players in the spine of the side, you go at the line and you've got to make sure that you can entice one of those defenders to pull out the line, make the wrong decision. A very good ball from Morgan Escaré to Ben Pomeroy. He's a big man, Ben Pomeroy, and takes some stopping 2 meters out.
5 missed goal kicks for the Catalan Dragons, all of them makeable. 1 miss from Danny Tickle, which was a difficult one. This could have been a real caning, and as it is, as we saw last night at the Mendehose Jungle, Castleford St Helens from 3 scores behind in the final 10 to get up on the line. So Widnes, who've taken a real pummeling in this second half, if they can get some ball, they may not quite be a lost cause.
Rod, we said it in the first half, you need the ball in these conditions, because trying to wrestle big men down like that, it doesn't half take it out. You've got to get back to the referee to come forward, and you can see the Widnes defenders, they're not getting forward.
That's gone forward. I'll tell you what, it was a great ball out to the wing there, because Duport had a clear run on a one-way ticket to the try line. Well, had he collected it.
You're right, if he takes this cleanly, Widnes are in trouble, because Jack Owen, the man with the orange boots, he'd come in, he'd left Vincent Duport, and he was free. He was clear to the line.
Well, it's been an exercise in chance missing for the Catalan Dragons, really. They have scored 6 tries in this match, but they could easily have had 10. Tries disallowed by the video ref, but there have been tries absolutely bombed and butchered by the French outfit. So Widnes, can they hit back? They hit back in the first half with a couple of quick tries. Brown's ball goes to ground. Play on is the call. This has got to be another try. This is going to be a hat-trick. It's easy. So easy. And Catalan Dragons, are a misplaced pass and a hat-trick from Elliot Whitehead, have hit 30.
Well, normally the dependable Kevin Brown, he doesn't mind going to the line and taking a whack, but he passes the ball. He's looking for Rhys Hambury out the back, who I think was just tailing him on the inside. And it's the second try in this game that Widnes has gifted the opposition. In the first half, there was a ball from Rhys Hambury. In the second half, you can just see he's looking for the number 1, Rhys Hambury, who's just tailing him on the inside. And Elliot Whitehead, he picks that ball up. There's no stopping him on that right edge. He's looked very dangerous in this game, Elliot Whitehead.
Similar try last night for Castleford for Michael Shenton. It was Jordan Turner who dropped a pass off into no man's land like that, and Shenton pounced. Well, Whitehead had been reading the same script, and a hat-trick of tries for Elliot Whitehead. 7 tries this season.
But because you've got halfbacks and playmakers going at the line, and then you've got the defenders coming up and pushing and trying to put pressure onto them, they're trying to offload the ball, they're trying to get that final pass away that'll set the teammate free. And they are looking for that money ball, and sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't.
Thomas Bosch's name has come out of the raffle for the goal-kicking duties.
Are you going to back him, Rob? I go double of
Well,
quits.
I'll tell you what, if he misses this, the Shepherd's crook may well come out from the sideline.
I'll go double of quits. 10 pence on it.
10 grand, 1 to 7. Can he kick it? Yes, he can.
Yes, get in. 10 pence to Barryman.
And Thomas Bosch finally lands his second goal of the day, and the second goal for the Dragons in 7 attempts, 7 tries, just 2 goals, but they lead now 32 points to 10, and Elliot Whitehead will not score a simpler try. That's a great feeling when you're just rumbling towards the try line. You know it well, Terry.
Yes, and just look at the players around him. He's got 3 players in support. So not only were them 3 players in support who were going to defend that play from Kevin Brown, they're in support, pushing up and looking for that try.
They had a big win in their last Super League home game, the Catalan Dragons over Huddersfield. That's their only win of the Super League season, up to press, and they're going to double that tally today. It's going to be enough to get them 4 points above the relegation zone. Relegation place is currently occupied by the London Broncos and the Bradford Bulls, who are still on -2, still in negative equity. But the Dragons, on this evidence, will not be a team with any kind of relegation worries.
And on the flip side for Widnes, just too sloppy with the ball. The
Price.
conditions, beautiful.
Oh, offloaded to Escarre, and that was a certain try. They were streaming through. The red tide was threatening to engulf the Vikings. There were 3 or 4. He could have picked his pass. It was a certain try had Escarre collected this pass.
He's a good player, Leon Price. He comes from one side to the other. He sees that Widnes are short on the left side, and he gets his arm free. He's got brilliant footwork, brilliant skill, brilliant vision. Unfortunately, he cannot capitalise on that half break.
Well, Leon Price, with over 450 appearances and 9 just repeat that, 9 grand final appearances, is still one of the star turns of the competition when he's in the mood. And no doubt that he'll be in the mood here, Terry, because anyone in a red shirt here will fancy this for 18 minutes, running against a tiring defence. There's tries all over the place. As Widnes have another injury problem, it's Declan Hume coming off, and we've already mentioned that they've got a whole list on the treatment table. Gilmore, Phelps, Marsh, Mellor, Arvan and Joe Allen, very importantly, their halfback, and there's endless players causing endless injuries, and Dennis Betts is light on troops, full stop, but particularly now for the last quarter of an hour or so. Yeah,
and Paul Johnson leaving the field with a blood bin as well. I'm sure that Dennis is hopefully getting some of those players back for next week, but it's difficult. And you were talking about Catalan. What are those Catalan players going to be thinking? They are going to be thinking, give me that ball, I want a chance, I want an opportunity to score the try. And when I'm defending, I'm going to get off, and I want the player either side of me to come with me.
Well, there's a busy Easter program coming up, and we saw beforehand that Catalan Dragons at home to Hull KR is our Easter Monday offering. Dennis Betts has to take his Widnes side to Warrington. It's precious little to enjoy for Tony Smith and the Warrington Wolves last night when they were at home and beaten at home by Hull KR, but there might be some solace in this, because Widnes, battered and bruised, have got to go to the Halliwell Jones on Good Friday. Chance here though for the Vikings, and offload, and had he pulled it in, it would have been a try to Paddy Flynn. It's picked up and play on again, and they'll relish that, they'll love that. Escaray and the dancing feet, twinkle-toed Escaray takes it clear of the try line.
Well, a well-constructed opportunity for Widnes. Unfortunately, skill let them down at the last minute. And it was Christine who simply had to provide the pass for his winger to go in the corner. Catalan got enough bodies, there was enough traffic around the ball to deny them. It's all about Catalan this game at the minute.
That's forward. Boss just drifted past. Had the offload been timed perfectly, there was another opportunity. This is Christine trying to get the ball away to Paddy Flynn, who scored one and had one chalked up for the video ref.
What's impressed me about Catalan, especially that player, the number 2, Morgan Escaray, is the transition from defence to attack. As soon as there's a mistake, as soon as the ball goes down, they pick it up and they're just looking at getting to the opposite end of the pitch, no matter how many times they pass the ball or if it's just taking the direct route. They've been very impressive this afternoon, Catalan.
Well, Catalan have come up with their normal barrow load of tries against Widnes. Every time they've played, they've scored at least 32 points against Widnes. This is their 5th meeting in Super League of the last few years. Hanbury, that's surely a penalty. You can't just pick him up and hurl him into row A. That's just not the way it works.
As soon as he hits the ground, the tackle's complete, and they just wanted to take him to the touchline. It's far too tempting, really, isn't it? But it is a penalty.
Hanbury it was. Mosk made the initial tackle and then just wouldn't let go. He wouldn't let it lie. Literally. So Widnes get a chance to get some more points on the board. 22 points to drift, 4 scores behind now, 15 minutes to go. Just for a moment, I thought Ben Kavanagh was going to reach out and touch the try line. Couldn't quite get his arm free. Brown. Here's Flynn again. Put his head down, went into 3, 4 Catalan Dragons, he's offloaded! And now you see it, now you don't pass, and it's a try to Lloyd White. How did he get the ball out? What sleight of hand, and what a try. Lloyd White there to pick up the pieces.
Well, 4 defenders, you can't question Catalan's urgency to get across and try and prevent Paddy Flynn from offloading this ball. The Widnes winger does ever so well. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 players in attendance. He offloads the ball, he finds Lloyd White. That's a miracle ball, but he knew exactly where Lloyd White was. Lloyd White comes up with the big play to the right side. Good strength from the winger and good vision.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. It's the rugby league version of Find the Lady. Where was it in there? Where was it? He couldn't.
You know, never give up. You know as a player that you're going out to the sideline, people are coming in from everywhere, pushing you off the island.
I don't know what Find the Lady is.
Well, I'll explain later. But it's a card game. But how on earth he managed to get the ball out of that tackle, it just absolutely mystifying. We've talked about Tommy Makinson and that unbelievable dexterity, but that to me is in the same ballpark, because how he's got that pass out of there is just unbelievable.
The mentality of the defenders would be, let's push them off the island. Let's make sure we push him into touch. They forgot about the ball, they forgot to secure and certainly stop Paddy Flynn from offloading that ball. He throws it behind his back in desperation with his fingers crossed, and a good try. Danny Tickle to convert the try.
And he has done. He has done as well. Accurate conversion from Tickle. 32-16.
And this is better skill from Widnes. Brown in the middle of it again, and it's that pass from Lloyd White that just frees up the winger Paddy Flynn. As I say, he just throws that pass back. Find the lady. I'm still trying to get my head around that.
Stay on
But it's
side.
6 points to Widnes. Give them a little bit of respectability with a couple of minutes still left on the clock to get a bit more pride back in.
Not if they carry on doing that. That really is. Well, he's gone from hero to zero, hasn't he? Lloyd White just on the end of that amazing Flynn offload, which got 6 points back for the Vikings after Tickle's conversion, and then spills the pill from the kickoff.
Well, you see that so many times from professional players, from amateur players, that you scored a try, you're all excited, you get back in the middle, you tell each other what you want to do that next set of 6. First of all, you've got to catch the ball before you can do anything. Unfortunately for Widnes and Lloyd White, they just cannot do that.
Escaré then has his hands on the ball once more, and he darted through half a gap. Really is a live wire operator. Fantastic talent, and when the weather's like this and the grounds are firm, Escaré is a 5-star entertainer.
Line.
Gouache.
Wait.
Getting some valuable game time and valuable experience, with Pelissier taking a breather on the sideline.
Go, move back. Line. Hold. Go, 3.
Bosque, Leon Price still manages to get an arm free. Olivier Elima cannot get his legs free as he looked to squirm towards the try line. Price, well, again it's all hands to the pump for the Widnes Vikings. Cahill is trying to stop Jason Battieri. He's done that, but for how long are they going to stop the Catalan Dragons from scoring again? Last tackle, Bosque. Flighted kick, collected by Pomeroy, finds Bosque once more, kick ahead from Vincent Dupont, and the simplest of scores. The dexterity with the boot, the patience and the try, and he gets his second.
Well, they seem to have all the skills in this game, and Vince Dupont, he's a big, powerful winger. Not only is he powerful, he's got some nice little touches as well. When he gets this ball here, does he go back inside? Does he try and take defenders on? He doesn't seem a clear way through the defensive line. So what he does, he uses his brain, he uses the old noggin, drops it onto the toe, runs forward, doesn't panic, picks the ball up cleanly and scores the try.
Yeah, unfortunately, Widnes were architects of their own downfall. Straight from the kickoff, it's the mistake from Lloyd White who presents that opportunity. Quality finish from Vincent Dupont. And a little wink to his teammate.
(36-16), 10 minutes left. The second try from Dupont. 8 for the Catalan Dragons. Pomeroy and Dupont have both bagged a brace. A hat-trick for Whitehead, 1 for Escaré. And he's now having another go with the boots. Bosque has managed to nail a couple from 6. Escaré missed his only other attempt.
Time on.
And that's good. That is good this time. 2 more points to the Dragons. Came from this try. It's a good try too, actually. They kept the ball alive. There were some good skills. But really well-weighted kick from Dupont, and the patience to make sure he didn't just go grabbing at it.
Well, Barry mentioned it in the first half about Catalan, and they've been able to promote the ball at will, getting one-on-one with the defender, too big, too strong up top. Olivier Elima, he leaves the field to high fives from some of his teammates, and it's been a good professional performance from Catalan. Another strong drive from Lapini player, lands on his front. Can he play the ball quickly?
38-16 then to the Catalan Dragons. It will now be 3 wins in 4 matches in League and Cup. Hull KR coming on the Easter Monday to the next home game here at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. No reason why, despite losing their first 5 games this season, that they can't make a run at the playoffs. Fairly congested in that middle part of the table.
Well, that's history now. What's gone before me, it's what they're playing like now, and they're playing very well.
Well, a couple of weeks ago they looked a possible runner in the Challenge Cup because coming into something like what we know they can produce. They've got some big names to come back, like Ian Henderson. A draw at Bradford, well, they will be favourites, so they could the quarter-finals and beyond. And Hambry has done ever so well there, put his foot over the dead ball line before handling the football. That was clever.
And players missing for the Catalan Dragons. Louis Anderson didn't make the team this week. He was another player during that Huddersfield game a couple of weeks ago. Some crucial contributions, a good kick from them. And Reece Hambry needed nerves of steel, caught the ball with his foot outside the in-goal area, judging the ball dead.
Well, that's gone loose. Decision for James Child, and you can tell from the reaction from John Clark that it's gone against the Widnes Vikings.
Well, does Heb Cahill lose this ball in his urgency to get up and play the ball? I feel he does.
7 to go, guys. Keep going.
You can see Jeff Lee met over the top of him. Was there a hand in there, Stuart?
Surely not from Gentleman Jeff.
There's a hand in there, and it comes out as he comes out. You know, I think that's got to go with the Vikings on a call like that. It's similar to what we saw earlier on in the game, where they were tackling the ball, and the ball clearly comes out when Lima's hands come out. So, you know, I think that should have been a penalty to Widnes.
Once again, Super League players prove that they are the master of deception.
Are you saying they're dishonest, Rod? I'm not having it, mate.
Jeff Lima's fingerprints were all over the ball.
1, 2,
Fortunately, James Child doesn't have the opportunity to make a forensic examination. As the Dragons pick up possession once more. Lapini player takes some stopping, he takes some putting to ground. He is to ground now, but the Dragons have got another roll on here. Bosch drops a pass off to Garcia. Garcia was not held in the tackle, he is now though, as Dean and Cahill make the stop. Gouache though getting the Vikings rolling, the Dragons rolling forward once more. Driving legs of Lima, taking him to within a couple of metres of the try line. Gouache going right, batted on by Escaré, spilled backwards. All the fun of the fair, and another set of tackles as Escaré picks the ball up once more. Dupont is on a hat-trick as well. We've seen a hat-trick already from Elliot Whitehead for the Catalan Dragons. There he is, right on cue, looking to bag a fourth. Clough wraps him up. Wash. That was almost another for Big Ben Pomeroy, who's stretching out. He's on a hat-trick as well. They haven't exactly shared the tries around, to be honest. It's come from 3 men, really. 2 each for Pomeroy and Dupont, 3 for Whitehead, 1 for Escaré. Here's Gouache again. Here is Thomas Bosch once more. Now Leon Price, now Daryl Millard, and that is a try this time. He's had one chalked off at the video ref when he stepped into touch near the line. Hang on, maybe I spoke too soon, because James Child wants to seek the opinion of the video referee, Stuart.
Well, it seemed that way. I'm not sure whether he's awarded it or not. I think he might. I thought he had 2 bleeps on his whistle, which usually assigned to sending upstairs. But I think it's fairly clear enough. Perhaps they've given the try.
There's no problem with this try. Brilliant left foot step from Millard. Beats Paddy Flynn. And it just seems to be like wave after wave. The forwards running forward. The backs playing out wide. And that is a brilliant finish from the Fijian centre. To step like that, come back inside, and still have the confidence to get in at the corner.
Leaving the Catalan players feeling the effects of the heat.
It's sun cream.
Could be sun cream.
Well, Daryl Millard, the former Wakefield Wildcats, is first Super League try of the season. He did get on the score sheet against the Broncos in the Challenge Cup last week, but with 4 minutes to go, Catalan Dragons stretch out to 42 points to 16. It has been a very, very convincing win and a convincing performance from Laurent Frésigne's side. And Escaré, well, notice Bosch has let Escaré have a go at this one from the sideline. Had they kicked their goals today, they would have been past 50. They'd have hoisted the half-century.
Well, they've shown us what they're capable of when they've played discipline. They throw the ball around. They're absolutely on fire today. Can they keep this up? Here we go.
It's another missed attempt at goal. This time from Escaré. The points they've racked up against the Widnes Vikings in 5 Super League meetings is quite amazing, really. Before today, they'd scored 188 points in 4 games against the Vikings. And, well, today, they've taken them to the cleaners again.
It's been an emphatic display from the Catalan Dragons. They've been clinical. They haven't been perfect, but when they've needed to put some energy and effort into the defensive aspects of the game, they've done that. They've also been really good with the ball. Lots of movement. Again, good, strong, hard drives from the forwards. When the Dragons look strong, it's when Lima and Lapini Pay are on the pitch, making those hard yards, doing the damage in the middle.
So 230 points in, well, almost 5 completed Super League games against the Widnes Vikings. In the words of the Terrace chant, can we play you every week? Maybe more. Maybe more of a French feast, not this time, as Whitehead spills the ball. And it will be a scrum down to the Vikings.
I think what will please the Catalan coach, well, they've looked very powerful. And we've seen over the years, since they come into Super League in 2006, when they play with power, how good they really can be. And that man has really led from the front, especially on the right edge. I think they've been very dangerous all afternoon with Elliot Whitehead, Pomeroy, Vincent Dupont. I'm saying before about the tries that they've scored, the footwork from the big fella. Here's the big see you later to Ben Kavanagh. And Ben Kavanagh must be 17.5 stone. The mistake.
Catalan Dragons' best ever Super League season was when they finished 3rd in 2008. It's extremely unlikely they'll finish that high again, but certainly serving notice here that they can still be a contender for honours this season, either via the playoffs, via the top 8 playoffs, or via the Challenge Cup. Not to be totally dismissed. And for Widnes, Terry, but they're missing a lot of their key operators today. We mentioned Joe Mellor, obviously the scrum half is a key man. They've picked up a lot of injuries. There's no need to throw the baby out with the bathwater here for Dennis Betts, because it's still only 2 defeats in their opening, 7 matches. That's still a very good return.
Yeah, and Dennis Betts has never been getting carried away about where they've been sitting in the league, and he knows that this performance has maybe knocked the wheel off in the way that they're going in the table, but he will be disappointed. But there's a big game coming up against Warrington on Good Friday, and the focus now will be on making sure that the players are okay. They have a safe trip back from the south of France, and for Laurent Frésigneau, he'll be very, very pleased with the way that his side have played.
Well, Widnes is, I would say, with their best ever win in Super League history was at Warrington last year. Do you remember when they had Cahill sent off and
just before half-time,
yes,
wasn't it?
and amazingly won at the Halliwell Jones, short-handed with 12 players for half the game. It was an extraordinary performance from the Widnes Vikings. So will they be able to repeat the feat? It's a game that you can see live on Sky Sports, Warrington Widnes on Good Friday afternoon. Also on the same bill, the Saints-Wigan derby. Saints maintain their unbeaten run against the champions. Phil Joseph carts it forward. Can Widnes finish with a flourish here at the Stade Gilbert Brutus? Brown now joining in is Reece Hambry. They have got it wide and they're going to score, and he's going to get a second there. Jack Owens lurking, loitering with intent on the left wing, and he gets his second try of the day to close the gap in the final couple of minutes.
Well, Jack Owens going in just on 2 minutes to go on the clock. McGrath Luluwai goes into centre, and it's just two little play, pulls in Vince Dupont, the little soft hands to Jack Owens, who's just hugging that touchline, just steps off his right foot, pulls Vincent Duport in, and the finish from the young Widnes youngster.
Well, it's just enough, isn't it, from Rhys Hambry? It just shows that ball. And the split second that Ben Pomeroy rocks back on his heels, sits back in the armchair, he just simply feeds that ball onto young Jack Owens. And why, oh why, couldn't it have been like that all game?
Well, it won't spoil Laurent Fresneu's dinner this evening, I don't think, too much. Jack Owens scored the first Widnes try of the season in 2014. At home to the London Broncos, and he's going to score the last try of this match as well. It was his 4th try of Super League 19. And it will not be enough to put anything more than just a minor dent in the winning margin for the Catalan Dragons. Which could well be the final kick of this Super League match. That's a worry too for Widnes. More on the injury list, Declan Hume limping away. They have got a lengthy casualty list, and this isn't the best time of the season to have that list. They've got a busy Easter programme, obviously, and a cup tie coming up at Salford as well. Important period for the Vikings and Dennis Betts. Let's see if Tickle can end with a successful conversion. Oh, and that just about sums it up. As it cannons back up and upright.
Well, Widnes finishing with a positive, finishing with a try. I'm sure that you can't dwell on the negatives going into that big game with Warrington next week. That was just an example of what they can do when they throw the ball around. We've seen them last season on that left edge. When they're willing to throw that ball out, they are a very dangerous prospect.
And Tez, it does reignite that question about Widnes and whether they're the same side away from home as they are on their own patch. What's your thoughts on that?
I think they had some good wins last year when they played away from home in that Warrington game that Rod was on about. I think that was one that would really have lifted their spirits. So I think a lot of people make a lot about Widnes playing away from home, but they've not respected possession enough in this game, Barry, for me.
They did have a good win at Hull earlier this season. Very different type of game than this. They won 7-0 at the KC Stadium, but they are not going to win here in the Stade Gilbert Brutus, because the final whistle and the final siren has gone, and it has been a very successful afternoon for the Catalan Dragons and Laurent Fresneu. 9 tries, a hat-trick for Elliot Whitehead, 2 apiece for Ben Pomeroy and Vincent Duport, Escale and Millard also on the score sheet. 2 for Owens for Widnes, but not enough, and the Dragons win 42-20.